Now, many things can affect your score. Of course, all your different pieces of equipment make a difference. But if there's one piece of equipment that's super cheap and often just overlooked, it's Nocks. And your Nocks can make a significant difference. Honestly, I see it all the time. So today I'm going to go over all of the things to consider, from the most basic, but people still don't do it, to the more elite end of things. Okay, let's get going. First of all, I've got some vacancies in my online coaching school. So if anyone wants some one-to-one online coaching sessions, check out the information in the description. Now back to the video. Now I know this next bit of advice might seem a bit basic, but I assure you I've seen it not followed on many national teams by many players, and it makes a huge difference. So the first rule, the basic rule, always have all your Nocks the same make, the same model, the same size. The number of times I've seen some people in the quiver with some small and large Nocks mixed up, disastrous. And of even the same color. Constantly, I see people at competitions and they're shooting with 4 Nocks of one color and 2 Nocks of another. That's not allowed. At any point, a judge, if they're actually bothering to stick to the rules, a judge can come up to you and take away the points for the 2 arrows with the different color Nocks. The rules say, it's crystal clear, all arrows must be identical. So the color, that's simple. The size of the Nock, normally if you either look at it or you get in the reflection with the light, you can see it's got a size on there. Maybe it's a number 1 or a number 2, maybe it's a small, maybe it's a large. You have to get them all the same size. Honestly, it really makes a difference. If not, when you start to look at it, you'll be getting 2 different groups. And I know a lot of people might want to switch the video off now because it sounds so basic. I'm only saying this because I see this rule not followed so many times. The next bit of advice is, when you can, use the pins. Now there's lots of arrows where you can put the Nock directly in the back, and the same arrow, if you want, you can use an aluminium pin with the Nock over the top of the pin. Now that aluminium pin, sort of first pioneered by Easton, that makes a huge difference to the durability of the arrow. So this is not a accuracy thing. This is just how long your arrows last. And most of us are on a budget. Most of us don't want to be breaking arrows every single night at the club. So anytime you can get a pin rather than an arrow with the Nock directly in the back, honestly, the dollar you're going to spend on the pin is going to save you countless dollars down the road. So I'm going to give you my recommendations for both compound and recurve bows. First of all, we're going to start with the compound bow. For this, I have 2 recommendations. There's 2 Nocks that I see performing around the world, so they're undoubtedly successful Nocks. Both of them fit over the pin, so whether you're using an X10, an ACE, whatever arrow or a different manufacturer, if you get the pin, these Nocks will fit over it. The first one is the Easton G pin Nock. It's a quality Nock, comes in one size, fits most compound bowstrings, no problem at all, and it's been super successful around the world. My other choice is the Biter Hunter pin Nock. Okay, make sure you got that. Biter's the manufacturer. Hunter means it's made for compound, and pin Nock means it's going to sit on that pin. These come in 2 different sizes, small and large. Most people, the larger one fits the factory string, unless you've made some custom strings and maybe you want the small. I personally love this Nock because it's just a little bit bigger and a little bit brighter and just a little bit easier to see in the target. And I know that's only a small thing, but sometimes when you're in head-to-head matches, you're under pressure, not seeing where your arrow is can be a little bit stressful and a little bit concerning. But they're just a fraction bigger, but they're definitely easier to see, and maybe they even give your arrow a little bit more protection. So they're my choice for the compound. For the recurve bow, again, I still recommend having the aluminium pin just to protect your arrow. And I recommend the biter pin nock. Okay, same manufacturer, same design to go over the pin, but it's a different shape, and that's why it doesn't have the word hunter in there. So it's biter pin nock. These are super popular, super successful on the Recurve range. Honestly, it's the de facto choice that most people have. Great nock, and with the pin, it's very durable. There's one caveat I have to put in there, which is a nock which has probably won more Olympic medals than any other nock. So you'll say, Coach Michael, why are you not recommending this? And it's a fair point. So the nock that's won more medals than any other nock, as far as I can see, is the biter out nock. I'm just going to check I got that right. Yes, biter out nock. So that fits over the arrow without using the pin. Typically it's used on the X10 arrow, which is by far, the Eastern X10 arrow is by far the most popular and successful arrow for a recurve bow. That's what most competition archers will be using. And that biter out nock fits over the outside. It's super bright. You can see them fly down there. You can see them in the target sometimes without even using your scope. And that's, I think, why people like them. Big, bright, beautiful, but anytime you hit your nock, there's such a high chance you're going to damage the arrow. I know when I was using the biter pin nocks, I was maybe breaking around 12 arrows per outdoor season. Then I moved on to the biter out nock. Loved them, look great, shoot great. I broke over 36 arrows. So moving those nocks over cost me hundreds and hundreds of dollars in broken arrows. But yes, if you're professional on an Olympic team and they're the nocks you like, who cares that you broke 36 arrows? The chances are you're going to get given some more by your team manager. So it's okay. But even, here's an example for you, even the best team in the world, the Korean recurve team, their top man at the London Olympics, Im Dong-yeon, he had a fantastic practice session one afternoon and broke 11 arrows in one session. Now you might think that's not a problem for Korean archer, they're the most wealthiest team there is. But their team manager came and asked me because they were running out of arrows. So they're at the biggest tournament in the world, the most important tournament over the last 4 years. Their #1 ranked archer, who's favorite to break the world record, which I think he either equaled or broke it, and he was nearly running out of arrows. So even people at the top end of our sport, breaking arrows is not something you want to do. Anyway, I got him some arrows, and needless to say, he had plenty for the qualifying round the next day, and his score was, like I say, he either equaled or broke the world record. So phenomenal shooting, both phenomenal nocks, but for most of us mere mortals, the biter pin nock is your #1 choice. Now, typically these nocks cost between $1 or $1.50, but I can't stress how important it is. Most top archers that I know, if they're going to a tournament, an important tournament, that morning, they'll change all their nocks, keep the old nocks for practicing back at the club, but they'll make sure they have new nocks for the big tournament, and they will check those arrows during the day, because any mark on that nock, any dent, any little impact point, change it. Honestly, the number of times I've put arrows through a shooting machine and there'll be a nice tight group in the middle and one arrow going off to the side. And 90% of the time, you'll look at it and there'll be a little tiny dent on the nock. Those $1 bits of plastic can truly change your score. So be a professional, change your nocks, inspect your nocks, and good shooting.